Good afternoon, traders. It is Monday, May 20th, 2019, and the U.S. stock market is closed. Uh, we made a little money today, and yet it was really a pretty dull day. The Dow opened quite a bit lower this morning. It may have gotten down 200 points or so down there, but it did come back somewhat and officially ended up closing negative 84, but basically we just saw sideways action today. We only had two positions coming in, and we closed those out with positive $2,000. Both of those positions were positive, and we got into two new positions today. Not a big day, and we one of those is positive, one is negative, and we're negative $300 in open trade going into tomorrow. So, that's a very quick summary of what happened today. I uh, I found this, sitting here and watching this really boring today, to the point where I actually went back and read an article that I wrote about 4 years ago on boredom and trading. And if you're interested, you can. This is on my website. It's on the home page down toward the end. There's a guy falling asleep on his keyboard. There's the picture. And I'm not patting myself on the back, but it's really a good article. And the the point of the article is that um, all markets, it doesn't make any difference you're talking about the stock market or futures market, the majority of the time uh, they're not doing much. And in fact, 80% of the time, uh, all markets move essentially sideways like we saw today. And why this? So it's only 20% of the time uh, any given market is really doing anything, and you've also heard me mention that 70% of our profits come from only 5% of our trades. This means out of you know only one trade out of 20 is going to be really exciting. And I've been for 25 years. I have been sitting in front of computers watching these markets, and most of the time it's not interesting at all. And this is in spite of the fact that I've generally averaged over 50% returns a year or something. I mean, there's been some years I've done a lot better than that, but average about 50% returns. And yet I've dealt with at least 1,000 customers, and I know most people absolutely cannot stand the idea of watching markets. Spending 6 hours a day in front of computer screens. That's just uh, impossible for anybody to deal with, or the majority of people to deal with. And yet, if I tell you that, if you can make 50%, 50 to 100% trading, I mean, you can be filthy rich, and you can probably get filthy rich within 5 years. Far more money than you could possibly make in almost any job, day job that you have. And yet, I think people won't do that because they cannot tolerate the boredom. It's just, it doesn't make any difference if they think they can get a job that makes $200,000 a year. That sounds great, but if they have to be bored for 6.5 hours a day, they just can't take it after a while. And that seems to be a really big obstacle to people becoming successful trading. And it always irritates me when they tell me about that because it just seems insane. I mean, I was bored with stocks today, but you know, I have things here I can do on a computer that sits next to my trading computer, and I can keep an eye on both, and I can read, and I can listen to music even. I can um, watch YouTube videos. A lot of things I can do other than just stare at these screens, but I'm still here to watch things in case something happens. And anyway, I don't understand the people that says they just can't tolerate watching markets. Particularly when potentially the rewards are very high. Anyway, I don't have much to show you. I will show you the one good trade we had today. This is in Coherus Biosciences, and we had bought that midday yesterday, and it opened lower, just like the Dow opened a lot lower, but then, unlike the Dow, it took off right away, popped up here, and we got out of that with $1,700 in profits. And that was one of only two stocks we had, and the other one was also positive, but positive about 1,300, 14, or rather $300, $400. So combine those two, and we had $2,000 in profit, even though we only had two stocks. So that was pretty good. Anyway, that's the way it went. This is Trader Bob signing off. I'll see you tomorrow on Tuesday.